everyone, welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever been fascinated by crystals and how they can help your life, then we have the Crystal Muse show for you. Today I'll be speaking with Heather Askinosie and Timmi Jandro, co-founders of Energy Muse and the authors of an absolutely favorite new book of mine, Crystal Muse. And that's just what I want to talk with them about today, about everything crystals and how to use them in everyday rituals to tune in to the real you. That, plus we'll talk about flip-flop girls and energy beads, chaos and napkins, fire departments and sage, the power of Cancun and Temazcal, rainbow obsidian and sleep, making plans with your crystals instead of going out with friends, and what in the world an injured Achilles and burned lasagna have to do with anything. Gotcha. So welcome to the show, Heather and Tammy. Are you ready to shine?
Yay!
Woohoo!
Woo!
So before we dive right into things, how long have you guys known each other?
A lifetime. Over 40 years.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of antics.
Exactly. In this lifetime, we've known each other since the single digits. And now we're in the double digits. Higher
up. And we say we're like sisters from other mothers.
Exactly.
Very, very cool. And we're going to get to the story of how you guys started working on this. But I want to dive briefly into Heather's childhood. How traditional was it?
You know what? Appearance to the outside world, it was very traditional. Timmy and I grew up in Manhattan Beach, this beach city in California. And way back then, it's just, people played volleyball. They sold real estate in Ren Spooner shirts. And, we appeared to be like a very normal conservative family. But behind closed doors, my grandma was reading my tea leaves and my mom had, astrologers over. And, back then that wasn't just common stuff everyone talked about. And then I know that Timmy and I used to talk over, we were neighbors, and we used to talk over the fence about reincarnation with her Grandma Jo. So.
Oh, so Timmy, you were getting this too.
Yes. My grandma, I think, was probably from another planet, and that's probably why Heather calls me an alien. And
she is an alien, you guys. She is. I think there's human ones.
This will be another show. We'll have you back.
Yes.
Nanu.
Yes. Oh, yes. So we had a little bit of that input from a very early time in our lives.
Very cool.
We did, yeah.
And so, but when you grew up, and I'll put that in quotes, Heather, first off, you became a realtor, if I understand right.
I did. What happened was I was selling real estate, high-end real estate in Manhattan Beach when you could buy a house for $1 million. Back then, that's crazy. That's how expensive everything is. But I remember that one day we had a client come in. I was selling real estate with my mom, and he was the CEO of Arco. And he had moved here from Brazil, and he said, hey, I want to have a house that has good feng shui. Now, 25 odd years ago, I'm like, say what? Ended up going and learning about feng shui, the classical feng shui, where I was the only woman in the room of a group of men. It was all based on mathematical calculations. So I ended up learning about it because I wanted to sell him property. And we ended up selling him a lot of property. But what that did for me was it opened up this whole world of, wow, there's a world that exists based on energy that I cannot see. However, there's something that we can alter to be in more harmony with our environment. Now, at that time, I was seen as a witch, a weirdo. What else was I classified as? I wasn't. Witch. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was not the easiest journey to be on. But what happened was, I remember getting to a point where I was making a really good living, a lot of money. And one day, and I don't know if it was around before I went into my Saturn return, which is always a fun time in one person's life, where I like to look at it as, at that time, being birthed into adulthood. So it's kind of like, okay, so who are you? And I remember that being a soul seeker and truth seeker in this lifetime, I looked at this paycheck and I'm like, you know what? I cannot do this anymore. It wasn't feeding me on a level that was, I wasn't happy. And so what I ended up doing, because I'm a Scorpio, is it's an all or nothing kind of thing. I ended up going to this Ayurvedic man who basically said, if you stay on this path because you're a quadruple type A, you're going to crash and burn. And so you better shift it out. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? So I thought he'd give me some herbs and just I'd be on my way. And he's like, you're going to have to learn how to meditate. So the next week I got on a plane, I went to Canada and I learned transcendental meditation. And through that, it started a whole new journey. I don't want to say it was the easiest journey, but it was a journey that filled my soul on a whole different level. And I was introduced to the crystal world. And the first time I laid eyes on them, they were so beautiful that they had me at hello. What was that? Was that like a Tom Cruise movie? Okay, so it was that moment, like, oh my God, you have me at hello. And I dove in deep, and I studied a lot of things, but for some reason, the energy of the earth really captured me. So that's kind of how it started.
And it sounds like you went all over the world on this. Once you saw that first Brazilian amethyst, if I have this right, and you were smitten, yeah. You ended up everywhere.
I did. There wasn't a lot of books at the time on crystals like there are now, thank goodness. But I ended up calling one of the authors of one of the books, and I said, hey, do you mind if I come over, I study with you? And she's like, I don't have any classes. And I'm like, well, I'll fly to you. And so I ended up flying to the big island of Hawaii. And you know what? Being young and stupid is awesome sometimes. Cause I'm like, hey, I'll, catch a plane this week, And so I took the money that I had made with real estate and I basically went and studied with whomever I wanted. And a lot of the studies that I got were word of mouth and through trial and error and experiential. And I definitely think even today with crystals, what Timmy and I really kind of want to get the word out is that you have to have that relationship. You have to experience. People can guide you with it, but you're going to have your own journey. What happened for me isn't going to happen for Timmy. Isn't probably going to happen for you. We all open up in different ways, But it definitely opened me up to bursting through my intellectual head because I'm this researcher, kind of prove it to me, give me the science, blah, 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 blah. And really what I learned here 27 years later is that I got to get out of my head and get into my heart because that's really, for me and for I think what we're trying to share with people now is that that's where the juice is really.
Amen. So let's go from there. And speaking of head over heart, Timmy, you're more of the ops side of things. You're more of the nitty gritty, get things done. What was your path before we dive into the flip flop girls? Prior to that.
Well, thankfully, I was Heather's guinea pig, and we'll get to that later. But I started out in the garment industry right out of college, and I loved it. I loved selling. I loved being with people. I loved clothing, and that was something that when people are wearing something they love, they feel good. So that was kind of what juiced me. But I was selling all of the big box retailers, and I'll date myself, like Montgomery Ward's, which is no longer, Walmart, Sears, and JCPenney's, and then all of the major department stores. So I was traveling up a storm, completely burnt out, making a lot of money, but it wasn't worth it. My soul was saying, you've got to get out before you become a hardened because I had become one. I wasn't myself. I wanted to start a family, but I was never home in order to do so. And my marriage was struggling and it was not good. So flash forward, Heather starts, I'm her guinea pig for a lot of this stuff that she's working with, feng shui and crystals and energy. And I thought, there's something to this. I might be more of the linear type, whereas she is not, but I was open to trying and I was feeling different experiences. And so that's really how we came together in this part of our life about 17, 18 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. And so from there, what are prosperity beads?
Well, what happened is that I remember calling up my mom one day and I was living in Santa Monica and I was like, you know what? I'm on a spiritual journey. I need to not make any money. I need to just be in this like spirituality and whatever. And my mom called me up, and she's an amazing Virgo woman, very wise. And she called me up and she said, "You are starving to death with a loaf of bread in your hands, Heather." She said, "You've traveled the world. You've studied all these things. Take the information that you've learned and do something with it already. Okay. I mean, I know you're spiritual and all, and you're on this, journey, but you're going to have to pay the bills here pretty soon. Like, come on now, get it together." And so I came up with this necklace called Prosperity, which is 3 coins tied with red string, made with jade. And I gave it to 10 people. And when I say prosperity, for me, prosperity has always been about opportunities, people you meet. It's not just about the money. And in this lifetime, sadly, money is not what gets me out of the bed in the morning. I wish it was, because I'd probably have a different life in some areas, but it was this really kind of cool concept. And I gave it to 10 people because, as I said, I'm a researcher. I got to see the data, and I put 10 days on it.
And skeptics.
Pardon me?
You gave it to skeptics too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I gave it to skeptics because if they're like, "What is this?" And I said, "It's just a talisman. Okay, wear it for 10 days and see what happens." All 10 people came back to us and to me and said, "Hey, there's something that happened within 10 days. Timmy was one of them." And so word got out around, people started talking around town. And all of a sudden people were like, "Hey, can I have one of those prosperity necklaces? I heard that they work." And I called Timmy and I'm like, "Look, I have absolutely no idea how to produce this." And because of Timmy's background, she said, "I do. So I could figure out how to get these made." And what was cool about our business is that we got really dumb lucky. I'm not going to kid anyone here. There was no master plan. There was no business plan. Everything that you're not supposed to do in business, we did. And so we got invited to at that time I was feng shuiing a lot of people in Hollywood. And so we got invited to a lot of Hollywood parties, and literally we were like these energy dealers. We would be ushered in back rooms and people would be like, "Give me 10 prosperity, man. Do you have anything for love?" And literally money was flying out of the sky. I mean, it was just like that, movie. We were like, woo! And it was amazing. And everything was amazing.
Until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah.
So 2 years later, we had to learn how to be in business. And literally our next book is What Not to Do in Business, because we've done it all. And the thing is that we've got very lucky and things have shifted through, but we've worked through a lot of our stuff, which is, what we like to share with people. But we had to learn how to be in business and whatnot 2 years later. So sometimes what we, I think, found out during that period is that we started to take things for granted, and we forgot to be grateful. But you know what? That's when we learned our lesson. And we really, every opportunity that comes to us now, we are so grateful, because you know what? We know what it feels like when there's none. So.
Well, and I think also not only that part of it, but as healers or helping people to find those healing tools to help themselves, we thought, how can we make money at this? Like, this doesn't feel right. Like, we're making money helping people. But if we didn't make money, we wouldn't be able to continue helping people. So that was another thing we had to get through in order to continue in these 17 years.
Yeah.
So let's fast forward. Thank you both for sharing on that. So let's fast forward from there. Well, actually, I guess we have to finish the story, which is Timmy, you tried the necklace. It worked for you. How did she bring you on board?
We literally, I think we were on a walk on the beach in our flip-flops probably, and we thought, hey, this could be a really cool business idea. Let's continue to help people. I'll get the pieces made. Heather and I will get it out there and sell, because we both love to do that, and we'll continue the energy of helping people. It was really that simple.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I mean, we started our company out of the trunks of our car. I mean, that was our office. It was really high end.
And yoga studios.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So let's fast forward to the book now. I want to dive into this book. This book, I usually have way too many questions for an interview, and the max is probably usually 100 questions, of which I get to usually 15 or 20. I get, guidance. I think yours sets a new record today. I'm not even going to count how many questions, because there's so much. Your book is so packed with, I think, valuable information. And I admit, I'm a crystal user myself. I regularly tell people on the show that I've got my crystal here that I'm running my thumb across and sending love to ground myself and kind of connect at a high level with my guests each and every show. So let's dive into the book. First off, how do we know crystals actually do anything?
Well, Timmy and I had the amazing opportunity to go to New York a few weeks ago because we were promoting our book. And the best thing about going to New York, because, you know, we're here in California, and so there is a little bit of a rep about, woo, you know, and it's like this. And then we landed in New York, and it's like, hey, you got 5 minutes. Tell me about crystals and why. Why do I care? And I think the big thing that everyone, in our opinion, is that if you think a crystal is going to change your life, or a rock, or however you want to identify it, you're going to be really disappointed, because the only person that can change your life is really you. And the crystal is a tool, just like meditation or eating food or, you know what I mean, doing yoga. It's another tool in your tool chest. And so what we realized while we were in New York is that when we said that, we got to stay in the room. That was good. We weren't kicked out, and that was a really good thing. And so it opened the door. And what we really find amazing right now is that a lot of people are like, why do you guys think that crystals are so trendy right now? Like they're trending high. And why do you think people are finally talking about them? And what we like to say is, you know what? We've been doing this 17 years, and we sell crystals all over the world. They're selling, and people have been using them, just nobody was talking about them, or we still wouldn't have been in business. But it was one of these kind of in the closet conversations. And so I think that at the end of the day, the energy of the earth is something that, regardless of what your sexual preference is, how much money you make, politically, what college you went to, all these labels, we as human beings all have our feet on the earth, and we are all connected through that energy field. So sometimes people are like, you know what, I don't really believe in it because it's against my religion. And what we're saying is, why are we bringing our religion into it? Always have your belief system of wherever your higher power is, or your 0.0, or whatever everyone is. This is just the energy of the earth to help us get grounded and reconnected. So can we go into science? Because when Timmy and I very first started, when somebody would say that, I'd be in like a 2-hour dissertation. You know, the scientific properties of, silicon dioxide. And it was exhausting. And it's like, you know what? There are so many amazing books on that science of it. And we could go into all that. But I just like to keep it simple, because when things get way too complicated, then we're back in our head again, wah, 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 wah. And we're not in our heart. Sending love. Because, and you know this, and anyone who's out there that's ever seen a crystal, sometimes it's just like, that's really pretty. Like, I have to say, like, right now, the backdrop with you and those crystals behind you looking amazing. Like, I am love. So, I mean, just like on one level, it's beautiful. And that's amazing. For some people, they're like, you know what? It's a reminder for me to meditate. For some people, it's, you know what? I like to hold on to it because it's touchstone. And for some people, they're like, I could care less about all that stuff. I just like to look at them. It could be whatever it is for anyone. So do they work? Going back to your question is, over time, if something doesn't work, it kind of goes away. If you look at every ancient civilization since the beginning of time, they have utilized crystals in some way. The Egyptians used them for makeup. They ground them up. The Romans put them on garnets on their shields for protection. In China, they were, all the archaeological findings were, there was jade, and they would wear it, So what I love about crystals is they continue to reinvent themselves. So now the LCD screens, liquid crystal display, they're like, hey, we're here again. You know what I mean? So what we all have to remember as humans is that the earth has been here way before us, and it's going to be here way after us. So we all have to kind of plug in now more than ever to reconnect, because our earth needs some healing, and so do our human beings within it. And let's not wait around for somebody else to do it. Let's all remember, in my opinion.
Well, and I think we're really here not to convince you. We're here to educate people.
Yeah.
We're here to help people understand a little bit more, as Heather always says, to demystify the crystals. And we look at ourselves as the bridge between the woo-woo and what is now, which is what Heather was just saying.
Have you ever thought of yourselves as crystal ambassadors?
Yeah, I like that.
I love that. I absolutely and you know what's even amazing? There are so many of us, and I love our community, our crystal. I like to look at them as us all as wisdom keepers, because we know that on a very simplistic level, it just feels good. And you know what? We all like to do things that feel good.
Woohoo! So.
Well, and I think what's so cool is you could be a master researcher like Heather and go to the scientific all the way to the feeling part of crystals, or you can be someone like me that just likes to experience it through osmosis. If it works for me and I like it, I'm going to continue doing it. So everyone's got a different journey. We're just saying, try it, hold them, have them around, feel that grounding energy, plug in, because I think you did say to feel is to heal. Yeah. And that's so important.
So let's dive in from there. We're going to be kind of how-to'sy from here, and I want to go over so many cool different areas. I want to talk about choosing a crystal. With that said, last night I was at like a little community party with my wife Jessica, and it was held at a little shop, and that was kind of, they held it there for free. You get to shop around and stuff, and she ended up finding this giant turquoise stone necklacey thing, and I just heard in my head, Power Stone, get it for her. And so she goes, Michael, and she's kind of blinking with these, beautiful kitty or puppy dog eyes at me. And I'm like, Power Stone, get it for her. Yes, dear. And so now she's wearing this hunkin' big stone on her. It feels important.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So that's interesting because I was very drawn to the turquoise today.
Yeah,
turquoise I see.
Yes.
And so are we, and wearing turquoise here. So how do we choose a crystal, or how does the crystal choose us?
Exactly. So a lot of times when people come over to see us at Energy Muse, they'll come in and they'll be like, what crystal do I need? And we're like, we have absolutely no idea. And the reason why is that you know yourself better than anybody else is ever going to know you in this, in this life. So for us, the energy of the earth is about for you to trust yourself. When you go to a crystal store or you find, just like your wife, it was like you're drawn to something. Trust it. That's what is good for you right now because you're being called to it. And can you get into your head, oh, this means this, and I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Or you're going to trust yourself like, you know what? I like it. It feels really good. I'm going to go with it. And in our opinion, that's the best way really to go into the crystal world is to the crystal lesson 101, trust you. You know you. And go for it because you're not going to make a mistake.
Awesome. Let's go from there and let's talk about how we can use crystals. Before we do that, what Jessica was also doing this morning as I'm reading the book is she had one of our beautiful feathers here and she had sage and she was running around the house this morning.
I love it. Smart woman. Yes. You are so lucky.
I am very, very, very lucky. So what is the value and the importance of saging or smudging?
Well, I think number one, everybody needs to do that regardless. It's a Native American type of a ritual. The energy of that smoke is very purifying. Life is heavy. And so if anybody has ever had if anyone's ever walked into a room where two people are having a fight and all of a sudden they stopped and looked back, you can feel that energy. So if you think about it logically, how does that energy dissipate? How does it go away? Well, over time, unless you cleanse, you clean your house, how do you clean the invisible space? Well, one of the ways to do that is through smudging or sound and bells. And, you want to clear that environment. And so the thing that's really important to do, number one, I think everyone needs to do that on a weekly or monthly basis all the time. It's cleansing protocol. But you definitely want to do that when you bring the energy of the earth into your space, or when someone gives you a crystal or you buy a crystal, you want to cleanse it because you're purifying it of everybody else's energy or the miners or all the people that touch it. And then the next important thing that we always recommend is that when you have a crystal, all you do is you hold it in your hand, or if you have a beautiful piece of turquoise jewelry, you hold it in your hand and you say, you want to give it a job. And the job is, hey, I'd like to program this crystal for healing, love, and light. Okay. It's something as simple as that. It's not like, hoobie, GB, gonna, an hour worth of all this and that. It's just, there it is. Because what you do is when you give it a purpose and a job, it'll hold that energy when then maybe you're not doing that. So maybe you go off and you're like, I don't feel good, and your mind takes over. And then you touch that crystal and you're like, I'm healing. I'm going to be okay. It holds that space when we forget to do it ourselves. That's what kind of is cool about the crystals.
Beautiful. And that's really about intention. You're setting the intention, imprinting it with the intention. In fact, we're going to get into intention and manifestation in a few minutes here. I don't know why I feel called both moving into a new house and if you're getting a divorce, the importance of doing something about your bed.
Yeah. Okay, so it's interesting because through the years, when women might say, I can't get over my relationship. I don't know why. It's just, I can't move on. And the other, let's just say a male and female. The husband's already moved on. I mean, he's already got, whatever, a new person in his life. And the woman is just like, I did, yeah. So anyway, one of the first questions is, okay, well, who got the bed in the relationship? Well, she's like, I did. He was not going to get that bed. And I said, well, actually what happened was when he didn't get that bed, it was easier for him to move on because mattresses will hold the energy of that relationship. And so what happens is that when you get a new mattress after something very, very big, such as a divorce or something, I mean, you can't be doing mattresses every 5 seconds after, if you're single and you're dating and blah, blah, blah. There's other ways you can heal that energy. But something, if you have seen that you're not able to move on, the mattress is key to change, ideally. Also for people to have mirrors in their bedroom. And if they're wondering why A, they can't sleep, or B, why third parties come into the relationship, that's something that might be something to consider, is to put some kind of curtain or fabric or some kind of thing over the mirror and see if that kind of energizes out. And also, adding some rose quartz and some amethyst to the bedroom are very healing and loving. But definitely something to consider if you're finding it hard to get up over a relationship breakup.
It's interesting you're talking about the mirror in the bedroom. This jumps way ahead in your book, but why not? And talking about sleep, we moved into this house about 2.5 months ago, and Jessica hasn't slept well here. Now, we don't have a mirror in the bedroom, but we were violating at least a couple big faux pas, which is there is a bathroom connected to the bedroom, and the kitty's litter has been in the bathroom, so we've kept the bathroom door wide open. You've got the toilet, water, and energy drain, is from what I'm understanding, and a giant mirror right off of the bedroom as well.
Yeah. Do you have a TV in your bedroom?
No, we don't own a TV.
Oh. I'm loving you. I love you guys. I got to meet you at some point, please, because you guys are amazing.
Goes both ways.
Yeah. Once again, quick fix, which is so great, is just closing the bathroom door, which is very easy to do because most people have obviously the bedroom off, of the bedroom.
Move the kitty litter.
Yeah. And
so you can close the door.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, and once again, saging, because when you move into a new house, highly recommend that what you want to do, once again, just because we can't see it, you want to clear the energy of the previous occupants. Not that anything was wrong with them. They might have been the most amazing human beings on the planet, but Well, what you want to do is go through the house and be like, I release any energy of previous occupants. And then you want to bring in your own energy. Maybe we bring love and light into this space. Maybe we call the guardians of this home where they protect us. Those things make a big, big difference. I really do. The saging, I cannot express. It's a game changer, really. It really is a game changer.
Thank you both so much on that. Timmy, I want to ask you, you're wearing turquoise today, but that's not your favorite stone. What is and why is it your favorite?
Blue lace agate.
Woohoo!
It's all in my hands, and there's other places that I'm wearing it too. But blue lace agate is good for me because I came into this life with a very raspy voice. So obviously one of my lessons is to speak my truth, and I love to be honored to speak eloquently to people like you and your audience. So I really like to have blue lace agate around, and also just keeps you calmer. And so this is my go-to stone.
Love it. And then for you, Heather, we're talking about selenite. And what is selenite?
Okay, so selenite, I'll take it out right now. I have it on my back. Anyway, so this is selenite. And the thing I love about selenite is that I love it so much that every human being needs a piece. I really, and I'm not, wherever, please get a piece. Because it's the thing that's cool about selenite, and I think that's the stone you have behind you, but it's a form of gypsum. Mm-hmm. And it's one of these things that it helps to clear energy. It helps to clear crystals. It's believed to be the highest vibrational stone on the planet at this time. It is something that you could put in windowsills if you feel like you have some lower vibrational energy in the house. But sometimes when I can't sleep or I've been up and I'm all like this from the day and whatnot, I'll bring a piece of selenite to bed. And it's often like my husband will look over at me and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, nothing. But it's just and this is what I love about selenite, whether you believe it or not, whether you are like, this stuff, I don't know if I'm into it. Try a piece of selenite, and before you go to bed, just while you're there reading or whatever you're doing, 11 minutes on your chest with this mineral is you feel like you got landed back in your body, which is interesting because you would think a stone that was white would take you out of your body. And that's why I dig this stone, because it has the ability to bring you in, yet take you up. And I haven't really felt another stone that does that. So the thing with all this stuff is try it, because we have found that so many people that are like, I don't buy into that spend 11 minutes with this mineral, they change their whole viewpoint on it. It's an interesting, interesting stone.
Awesome. Let's talk from there. Let's talk a little bit about some rituals and some grounding and practices. And maybe we'll talk about briefly the monkey mind ritual with meditation and what you do with a jar, a mason jar.
Yeah.
Well, it's really a simple ritual, and we like to have simple rituals in our book so that everyone can try them.
Your book is like a recipe book. It's really, really, really cool, all of these recipes. You can't sleep, do this one. Meditation, do this one. Sorry, go.
Well, in most cases, except for this one, there's always one key component. It's a crystal. So the great thing, too, is that you don't have to read a recipe book nor our book from cover to cover. You go to the places that resonate with you. So the monkey mind. We all are experiencing some form of anxiety, and we're looking for more clarity in our mind. And so by taking a mason jar full of water, you put some dirt in it, and you shake that jar. What's going to happen? It's going to look murky and muddy. What you do is you sit with that jar and you literally meditate and watch the murkiness disappear. And as it disappears, your mind is also becoming clearer and less anxious. And so you repeat that as often as you need, daily or weekly or monthly. It's just, again, another reminder that as that jar can clear its energy and become clear again, so can our minds.
Beautiful. And Heather, what's a way that we can use crystals to help us meditate?
Well, I remember when I first started meditating, because I learned transcendental meditation at the beginning, you're supposed to sit there for 20 minutes. Now, when you're a triple type A, sitting somewhere quietly for 20 minutes is like nails on a chalkboard. Like, oh my God, So I remember being there with the man who's trying to teach me how to meditate. And literally I'd be there and like 5 seconds later, I'm like, did I meditate yet? And he's like, no, close your eyes. And I'd be there and like five more seconds would go by. And I'm like, did I meditate yet? So anyway, finally over time, which is kind of where that jar came through, is that give yourself time. I don't know if we ever can fully clear our minds unless you're very, very evolved Tibetan, monk who's living in a cave and chanting all day long. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that for most people, including us, sometimes it's nice to hold on to something, such as I like to hold on to selenite, but other people might have other crystals they like, because it's like, okay, I'm holding on to something that's going to ground me in. Mm-hmm. And every time where we get maybe in our head again, we can hold on to a crystal, selenite, and go, okay, I'm grounded. I'm connected.
Plugged in.
I'm plugged in. Okay, I just had 20 minutes where I was able to not go, am I okay? Am I dead? What do I do? The grocery list. Oh my God, am I going to get to work on time? So the crystals are really a grounding tool for when you meditate. And then once you've worked with them enough, they actually can help you go to higher realms over time. Once again, meditation is a daily deal.
Well, and it seems like I just read something. Your first 5 to 10 minutes of your day are going to pretty much tell you how your day is going to transcend and how it's going to look. And so if you can start with meditation, it's something, it can never be taken away from you because you started your day with it. And it sets the tone for a really good day of clarity in most cases. Obviously, there's things that happen, but you can plug back into that moment and go back there should you need that energy throughout the day.
A lot of people are like, I can't meditate. I don't know how to meditate. I'm going to do it wrong. The only thing that you can do wrong with meditation is not do it. And a meditation doesn't need to be 20 minutes. A meditation could be walking outside with some crystals. A meditation could be grounding your feet on the ground for 3 minutes.
Prayer.
It does. Exactly. Calling in the archangels, calling in angels. There's not one formula for everyone, but there is the reconnection. That would be a good formula. We like the reconnection with crystals because we like the touchstone of it.
Beautiful. I'm using a clear quartz crystal. This is what I use on a daily basis with the show. Can you tell me about clear quartz?
Ta-da! Okay, I just have that one.
If size matters, you are way beyond winning the game here.
In my opinion, being crystal clear is a new superpower. And I feel in today's time with so much coming at us at all directions and electromagnetics and whatever, if we allow ourselves some clarity. And the thing I love about crystals, like such as this and the one that you have, crystals will tell you what they do. Just by looking at it, you don't need to be a crystal expert to know that this is a clear crystal. So maybe, just maybe, it'll help me be crystal clear. Now, how does it do that? Well, looking at it, hey, if this could be crystal clear, maybe I can. What do I need to do to be crystal clear? For me, that might be, you know what? I might need to take about 30 things off my plate for today. Okay, so I could actually breathe and be here now. So once again, that formula will be different for everything, but it's a very nice reminder that the more clear we are, the better decisions we make, the more we're present in the moment, the more we show up to our relationships and we're fully present because we are clear and we're in our truth and we're there in that moment to really connect with somebody else.
Beautiful. From there, since we're talking about clarity, what's an inner reflection ritual?
Okay, so, and once again, if I were to talk to you like 3 weeks from now, it would be completely different. Okay, so this is just, I'm going to be honest with you. This is where I am right now. I'm really into right now this transformation of using the energy of light and sound. Okay, because I feel like there's this, I get chills lately when I'm like, whoa. And I feel that most people, we can see that fire, that light, that energy field. And if you look at a quartz crystal and hold it and just see that white light going around you. And I really do feel the energy of sound whether it's Om or people actually even physically saying love or I am, which is I am that I am. That's a whole other conversation, but I am. And bringing in that consciousness of reprogramming our DNA, reprogramming our cellular, aligning ourselves that's where you are programming silicon that's in our computer chips, which is if the computer could do it, and this is a mini computer, and holding it, then we could really reprogram ourselves to be our highest self, which is really love or truth or light and all those things. So we are really powerful human beings. We're really blessed, and we just need to remember that we are. It's our God-given right for us to reclaim that and remember. And this is a tool to help us do that.
So you called it a computer, so that's interesting. What do we do with, how can we partner with crystals to help us when we're surrounded by lots of EMF and computer whatnot all around us?
Okay, this is a big one, you guys. I want everyone to do their own research. This is a call. Are you guys familiar with shungite?
Just from your book.
Okay. I would like everyone, while we still can get it, to go and research this stone. Just don't take what we're saying for the end all. It's interesting because this mineral, shungite, that comes out of only one place on the planet, in Russia. Wouldn't it be interesting that if supposedly it is said through the native history and through our ancestors is that every ailment on earth can be found within the earth to heal us. Wouldn't it be interesting if Mother Earth held what is now touted to be the miracle molecule of the 21st century in the form of something that looked like coal? It didn't come all sparkly and beautiful and woo, it came as a lump of coal. Now, what's also interesting is there's a lot of science that basically this mineral, shungite, when placed into water, acts as a purifier. It helps to detoxify radiation. It helps to detoxify all these different things and chemical and environmental. So if you're over in Russia and you are in a hospital, you might be drinking shungite water, or better yet, they've got rooms that are made of shungite.
Wow.
We need this over here in the States. Everyone thinks it's like crazy. Oh, that's woo-woo stuff. No, it's not. It's happening. So this is a really amazing mineral for, it's touted as EMFs and helping to kind of put a shield and barrier. But, I know with all the legalities and blah, 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 I really think, and I drink it every day, and I know Timmy does too.
And I wear it.
Put it in your water. Put it in your water. Elite shungite. Sit with it and drink it. It will detoxify your body. It will help to heal your body. Do some additional research. See where some of these rooms are being placed on your own research, and look into the scientific research that is publicly published about how shungite in water helps to heal and detoxify your body.
I've got like goosebumps myself. And
Yeah.
one of the real cool things, you were talking about radiation. This is kind of a whole sidetrack we don't have to go on, but it'll make a point with people, which is we believe in radiation. We know radiation is real, which is what? From plutonium, which is coming, or uranium, which is coming out of the earth. So why can't there be something else coming out of the earth that could help us heal from that or balance the equation as well? It makes absolute perfect sense. Let's go from there. Let's talk about real briefly about how we can use crystals to attract prosperity and success.
Okay, Timmy.
Well, I've got the money magnet on. So a lot of people will work with natural crystals, and then they might want to wear them in jewelry form. So Heather, being the master researcher that she is, she's come up with different patterns of crystals like tiger's eye, aventurine, jade, pyrite, citrine. When worn or placed on your body, will help bring prosperity. And again, like Heather was saying, prosperity isn't always about money. We wish everyone a prosperous new year. That's encompassing of all: health, love, everything, your family. But there are, I mean, I don't go a day without wearing this.
No,
so.
I should be wearing it. I really should. But the thing, okay, and once again, just in all disclaimer right now, if you wear this jewelry, although it's a bestseller for us, all of a sudden, are you going to be a millionaire the next day? Are you going to be like, oh, money, money? What it's designed to do is be like, okay, why am I sabotaging myself with money? Why do I think I don't deserve it? These are the questions that the energy of the earth brings up in you so that you can heal. Because you got to deal with these emotional things. I mean, Timmy might attract money all the time because she doesn't have, like, she's like, hey, yeah, this feels great. Versus me, I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. But once I get to that point within myself, then and I get through that barrier and block internally, then money will stream to me. Does that make sense? That's what this is designed to do, to bring up those thoughts within ourselves so that we can walk through that healing tunnel, yay, so that we can get to the other side, so that we can conquer that within ourselves and attract that abundance.
Yeah, it's a talisman. When I put it on, I am a money magnet. That is what I'm believing, so I am going to attract it.
Right.
And, you know, speaking of the whole healing process, it really isn't unicorns and rainbows.
No, it's not. I mean, if people think that they're going to put on a crystal and it's like bing, bam, it's a, hey, whoa.
We would be doing that. And
rainbows. And the thing is that the healing journey, and I'm sure you know this, it's not easy. It's not, it's
not for the weak of heart.
It's not. I mean, but the dividends, the rewards, the investment made will
outweigh.
Oh my God. But you're going to have to do the work, which is what we're here on earth for, right?
Amen.
And this is our tool.
Yeah. It's just
one
another
of our tools.
Another tool. You can't just look at it one way. You got to look at all these different dimensions of it. Yeah.
So real quickly, I got to ask, I want to go through this. I hadn't even thought of doing this. Timmy, what is each of the stones that you're wearing, and in a word or two, why each of those?
Okay, well, I had turquoise on because I was attracted to it today. My throat was a little raspy, so again, wanting the blue energy around my throat. I love this piece. I have a really big connection with Mother Mary and God, and so this is the John of God piece. He is a man out of Brazil. Probably many of you all know about him. He's Catholic, and he feels that he channels healing through God. And so we have been blessed to be one of the few people that can sell these rosaries. So I love this piece. I actually pray the rosary every day, so this is really important to me. Like Heather, selenite, I'm on it every single day, wear it every single day, along with my shungite. Can't go a day without it. And then, of course, I have to have the protective eye energy. So evil eye, protective energy. I just feel good. It's my shield.
And what stone is that?
This is actually lapis and onyx with the evil eye pendant.
Very, very cool. And what's the bracelets on your left wrist then? Because we know it's on the right.
On my left side, we're back to blue lace agate, and then I've got a Mother Mary bracelet and just a little cross bracelet.
Very cool. And Heather, what are you wearing and why? Thank you.
Sure.
Alrighty, here we go. Okay, so I do have the John of God on because when I did this is a whole other thing, but I did a very long process to be able to have this come Energy Muse to be one of the suppliers here. But we basically get these directly blessed from John of God. They come to us from Brazil, and we pick them up at the airport after they completely. So usually these are very high frequency, but I don't wear it so much for the religious aspect of it because I tap into a lot of different belief systems, but I love it because it's clear. I'm really into this one. I'm very into the violet flame. And so I am going to try to get this out right now.
How do I describe this to our listeners?
Well, people wear them in their bras, and so we do this too.
So I have a stone that's okay, I'll try to show you, but it's an amethyst that I wear. This is an amethyst because I love to wear that because it's the violet flame and I love that transmutation. I think that there's a very powerful frequency there. I have a string on from Tibet. I studied Tibetan, and I'm very linked to that whole thing. So I got this as blessed from a lama. Once again, I wear this every day. It's amethyst. I wear yellow sapphire. All my fingers are aligned with the planets. Crystals are aligned. It's Ayurvedic medicine. Blah, that's a whole other thing. And then I once again have quartz crystal mala. I'm more of a mala chanting type thing. It helps me to close my mind. It's my form of prayer, my form of connection. And I have turquoise on and my wedding ring. So I don't have a ton on, I have to say. So anyway,
but it differs.
But it differs.
Yeah.
Timmy is very consistent, and that's what's awesome about her. Mine is not so much. I do what kind of my vibe is for that day, but my rings are consistent.
For people who are trying to attract love into their lives, how can we use crystals to help?
Rose quartz. I think that number one, and I'm a full believer, the more you love yourself, I know this is like, oh, no. But it's true. The more you love yourself, the more you're going to attract love. There's no shortcut to that. Believe me, if there was, I'm telling you, I'd give you that answer right now. But I definitely think that sometimes for women or even for men who are wanting to attract love, malachite is an amazing stone for men to wear. Mm-hmm. And rose quartz is an amazing stone for women to wear. Over 40, rhodochrosite is a beautiful stone for women to wear. And so I like the feng shui of bedrooms because we can program what we want. So if you're looking for love, you want to make sure that you have all the pictures in your bedroom are symbolic to you of what love represents. And I would definitely trick your bedroom out with rose quartz that you give a job. I am love, emitting the energy of love. I'd put selenite underneath your bed. I'd put rose quartz underneath your mattress. And I'd write down what kind of thing what you want in a partner, not just about what they look like. Have they been married before? Do they have the same spiritual belief systems or religious belief systems? All these things, not getting so specific that whatever, but just putting it out there. And really, love is easy. I mean, I often take baths with rose quartz in the water just to infuse myself so that I'm a more loving wife to my husband. And he likes those days. He said, are you going to be taking a bath soon? So
drinking your rose quartz elixir.
Exactly.
So, Jessica, my wife, she's putting together and starting this fall, we're going to be interviewing people for it, a conscious conception program. And at the moment, we're tentatively calling it Inspire Nation Babies. And that's because...
that's amazing.
Thank you. Or she would say thank you. We're going to be calling in a child this fall, or that is the plan. And so can you tell us about a conscious conception ritual or how we want to use crystals for this?
Well, it's really important when people want to conceive a baby or a spirit or call in that energy that they do it together. Sometimes we've found that a lot of times that the wife kind of takes this on by herself. But oftentimes if you're wanting to do it with somebody else, it's kind of good to have that energy. Moonstone has this reputation of fertility. Mm-hmm. The energy of a moon. Now, this is not, if you go back into history, everyone was very in tune with the moon. It wasn't it was something that was part of everyday life and knowing your body and the cycles and the tides with fishermen and whatnot. But when people are trying to conceive, going under a full moon together, which is the energy of the divine feminine, and taking a moon bath and having moonstone and saying prayers. And once again, the sound and the light, bringing in that male and female energy and really putting that intention and connecting and saying, we're ready to bring in a spirit. We're ready to bring in a baby into our life. And really, and then holding those moonstones, maybe both partners, because babies come in different ways nowadays. Mm-hmm. They both wear this mineral on their body. It's holding their intentions. It's holding their connections. And you do it together over time because it builds that momentum. You know what I mean? So once again, it's not just the crystals. It's the togetherness. It's the connection. It's the ritual. It's the energy of the earth, the sky, all together making it a sacred act for two people.
Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. On the child note, Jessica, she always wants me to ask a question near the end for parents and kids. What can parents do with crystals to help their children?
Well, I know what I do. I mean, I actually have my sons wearing our grounding necklace, which is mostly made of hematite and jasper, because I find when they're calmer and I'm calmer, we're all connecting more calmly. And so that's been what we've been doing lately.
Yeah, I mean, our kids obviously, I mean, I don't know. I'm already starting a therapy fund for my son. I mean, who knows? And my daughter, I'm like, look, you'll handle when you're, you know what I mean? Because what they've been exposed to just being our kids is they probably could write the next book.
Yeah.
But anyway, the thing is that I think having the energy of the earth in environments is really important. And if you can, I mean, so many kids, I love kids. They are our number one clients. First of all, kids rule because they don't come in and be like, what is that going to do? And give me the science and I want to understand. They're just like, I love that one. I want this one. Bam. They know what it's like when you're at the beach and you're picking up stones. Little kids come into our showroom all the time and they are light and they are love and they are connected, and we need to tap back into that childlike nature. They know what they love, they know what they like, and it feels good and it makes them happy and they go for it. And oftentimes we'll sit down with them and like, tell us everything you know, because they know.
They're the wisdom keepers.
They know. And so many kids nowadays can go, that's a pyrite that comes from Peru. They know. So expose them to the energy of the earth. And why? Because these are the people that are going to help us on this momentum that we need right now to heal our planet.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I think they've tapped into the new mind, which is the heart, right?
Yeah.
That's where they're coming from, that space.
So a few quick wrap-up questions, then maybe if there's time, a brief meditation. First off, how can we use crystals, if you'll call it to ask this question, to help with negative energy in our lives?
Okay. Well, I feel like right now there's a lot of people that feel stuck or have negative energy, not only within themselves or just around. And so using some of the darker stones, the black tourmalines and the onyxes and those kind of stones, rainbow obsidians, and holding on to those stones, and it's almost as it's a cord or there's energy where you could see anything within you going into the energy of these crystals. And then giving them back to the earth and letting them repair. But a lot of times people will have these stones on the exterior of their house by the doors and then programming, giving them a job, because it kind of will put an energetic grid around an environment, and it's like an energetic shield. What people sometimes need to remember is that if you wear something to give you boundaries, or you have you want to cut the cords with people, it's not saying that somebody else is bad and you're good. You're always sending somebody light. It's just more about you want to know where your energy is and somebody else's begin. All we can do is deal with ourselves, and that could be a full-time job. Okay, so we got to keep our energy clear, and those dark stones are a really good way to kind of help us feel as if we're protected, help us kind of discord and release unwanted
detaching
energy.
with love.
Yeah, exactly.
So you could even if your office space is only a cubicle, you can set it up in your cubicle to kind of set the intention to have kind of a sacred space, sacred safe space for yourself.
Absolutely. And that you have your boundaries with love and light, but that you don't take on everybody else's stuff. You own your own stuff, and it'll help you have better communication in the workplace for sure.
Fantastic. Question we like to ask just before the end, I'll ask for each of you separately. First off, for you, Timmy, what personally brings you the greatest happiness, or what I call the woohoo factor?
A good sunset. And just ending the day with that energy of, it's just my connection to God. I can't explain it. It's so healing for me, and that brings me great joy.
Awesome.
So I try to do it every day.
And Heather?
I think for me, it's just from when I play. Like when I am able to be around kids and children and I allow myself that childlike energy where I am just having fun and playful and completely present in the moment, that's what brings me that brings me joy.
Woohoo! So,
And I think our business actually is doing really like its best when we're playing together.
Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
we remember to do that often.
that's a repeatable point for people, because people say, I'm in business, I don't have time for fun or to play now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like you don't have time not to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, where can people go to find your beautiful book, Crystal Muse, and to find out more?
So if you visit our website, energymuse.com, we've got tons of information about crystals. We are really great at educating people, and any questions they might have can be answered there. And then you can find out about our book. And if you pre-order the book now, you get 5 free gifts.
Yeah, and they're all uploadable videos, so you can have them right away. One is about how to use crystals for beauty. One is how to cleanse and sage your environment and clear your environment. 7 crystals, all the inside scoop on them, a meditation, and also a crystal grid that you can upload, and it will teach you what to do. So it's really some amazing content if you pre-order our book now before it comes out in October.
Fantastic. And can you give us the URL one more time?
Sure, www.energymuse.com.
Fantastic. If you didn't catch that, come on over to inspirenationshow.com. We'll get you over to energymuse.com as well. So,
Thank you.
Before we dive into a brief meditation, any last words of wisdom either of you want to share?
I really think that we need to remember right now that love is in the earth and that we can reclaim our planet by taking some extra time and being more aware. And let's utilize the energy of the earth to remind us that we need to have more respect for it.
And I think also just remembering we can make a change. We can make a difference. Together, we are very powerful, but we've got to be powerful within ourselves and be connected.
Yeah. Let's not make it a political issue. It's a human. Us humans as united as one. We can do it. We really can.
And one spacecraft.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So thank you both so much. This has been beautiful, a treasure and a treat. And I'm going to be, there's no other way to put it. When I got this book in and I was so excited for the interview, I said to Jessica, I said, this is going to be, forgive me, a very expensive interview.
Oh
a
my
new
God.
obsession, maybe, Michael.
It's been there in latency. I've tried to keep it under wraps as best as I can, but it's there. I get it, and it's not. I wouldn't even use the word belief. It's like, do you believe in radiation? Wow. Do you believe in cell phones working? Do you believe in a quartz watch? Of course. So it's time. And so we are already down that rabbit hole, but I think we get to dive deep. And I think it can make a big difference. And I look at it as the intention that you put in is just, they're amplifiers. Incredible, intelligent, beautiful, there to help us amplifiers.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Well said.
Yes, thank you.
That's why you do what you do. That's good.
Well, thank you. So do you have a brief meditation you wouldn't mind sharing with us?
What we've always done and we find is really powerful is if you hold a crystal, whichever one you're resonating with, and that in-breath of 7, holding for 7, and then breathing out for 7 is a really amazing shamanic, it's kind of often known as the shamanic breath, but it helps you really get in sync. Even if you do 7 rounds of the 7, it helps you really get back in sync with not only your mind, your heart, and your spirit, but in a very quick amount of time, you can realign with yourself.
So we would take a stone. Can you guide us through one round of this?
Yeah, let's do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in 7. And then you're going to hold for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you're going to breathe out through the nose for 7. This nose breathing, which is another sideline conversation, is a really powerful way to get there. So
I feel so calm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow.
Also research on the side, nose breathing.
Jessica and I, we're crazy about nose breathing to the extent that we wear tape over our mouths to sleep at night.
Okay. I didn't want to come out, and I didn't know, but I'm glad you know, because it's that powerful. Oh my God. I love you. You and Jessica are amazing. I just can't even stand it, you guys. You guys are the best.
You guys are pretty amazing too. We are going to have to connect.
Yes.
Namaste.
Thank you so much. We will have to have you back as well. There's so much we can talk about. Everybody, go out, get Crystal Muse. You will not be disappointed. Bring crystals into your lives. So, for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, get Crystal Muse, and start working with the crystals today. And shine bright. Woohoo! Thank you guys so much.
You're the best.
You are.
Hey, we're going to send you and Jessica some moonstones so you guys could start. We have some really cool heart moonstones we got from India so that you guys have a good vibe. I'm sure you already have some, but we'll add to your collection.
We do not.
Oh, well, the conscious conception will begin.
So we'll give you, I'm sure Sarah has your address, so we'll put that in the mail for you guys.
Thank you. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like below. Also, leave your comments. Have some real fun with it. Subscribe to our channel where you're going to get more great videos, more interviews coming up. And check out our website, inspirenationshow.com. That's where you'll find tips, blogs, information, videos you won't find anywhere else, and useful and helpful resources to really help you kickstart your life and to shine bright. Thanks so much again. Thank you for your support. Like, comment, subscribe. See the website. Thanks so much and have fun. Of course, shine bright. Woohoo!